We ain't found Sith.
Warning, the following podcast contains speculation, which may be confused with spoilers, although it may also contain spoilers. You have been warned.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of We Ain't Found Sith. I am your host. My name is Evan, and I am joined by semi-regular co-host Rag. Hey, buddy. Pedro should be joining us a little later. We may also have another guest. One forgot that it was his mother's birthday. I'll let you guess who that was. The other one's putting his kids to bed. But hello once again. Welcome to what has now become almost the monthly issue of We Ain't Found Sith. And what a month it's been. I almost feel like things are really kind of starting to, at least the release schedules are kind of starting to get back into normal.
They're like normalizing a little bit.
Yeah. Last time we spoke, you were getting a tattoo.
Right here.
Yeah. But you were kind enough to tell us about your thoughts on Shang-Chi.
During the pain, yeah. I wasn't very coherent, but yeah.
We are now like 2 days away from the release of Venom, which comes out this weekend. And we've gotten a couple of things just dropped on Disney Plus. Things are coming out on Hulu. Things are coming out on Netflix. Certainly things that I know I'm looking forward to. I'm hearing all these wonderful things about. I think is it called Squid Game? Or something like that.
Oh yeah. I'm hearing a lot of good things about that too.
So I'll probably give that a check out this weekend. But let's talk about. I know you've been watching. Did you see today's episode?
Yes.
Okay,
and
so
let me
you are
tell
fully
you,
caught up and up to speed.
Yeah, up to speed. I blame Disney, by the way, for us only being able to do like monthly episodes because they had to do releases on Wednesday. They knew they couldn't compete with us, so they had to. It's what it is.
Listen, I'll be honest. I like the weekly releases on these shows.
Pedro
Maybe
and I will
not.
never be with you.
Maybe not this one in particular. Because the premise. For those of you who are not aware, we are talking about What If. The other shows, the MCU shows, the WandaVision, the Winter Soldier, the Loki. I'm fine with the weekly releases on that. Gives me something to look forward to every week. Gives me a week to digest an episode and be like, oh man, what about this? What about that? With the What If series, because they're kind of using this to kind of introduce concepts and theories, but they're not actually canon MCU stories. This could have probably done let's just release them all at once and be done with it. Just like they did with Star Wars Visions, which we will be talking about in a little bit. Star Wars Visions was released all at once.
Yeah, so here we basically have, kind of mirror image of shows. So you have two anthology shows, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Until, I haven't seen all of Star Wars, and we haven't seen the last episode of What If, but we know What If is going to, at the end, come together somehow, some type of multiverse Avenger thing going on. Right. But, yeah, it's interesting. I would have preferred, personally, to see a release like they did with the Star Wars show.
Yeah. So let's get into What If. Let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up an episode list, and we'll break these down so far up until now.
Before you even get to that, can we agree that the Doctor Strange episode is the most tragic thing ever?
From a storytelling standpoint, yes.
Yeah.
That was a very heart-wrenching,
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the what if of that, we don't actually see the what if moment. Like with the first one, we get the what if moment. The first one is well, what if Peggy Carter had refused to leave the room? And so, like, I guess she notices the guy who was gonna, sabotage early, and so he like sets off his plan earlier than he did originally, resulting in everything that happens. What do you think of that first episode, though? What if we got Captain Carter?
I thought it was well done. I thought the banter was typical of the time, but adjusted enough to where, if someone dropped a 1940s
but it also
episode,
felt like MCU,
right?
like it felt perfectly in place with everything we know about these characters.
Very natural. It wasn't weird. They did a great job.
I do feel I wish they would have taken. I mean, they've been working on this for a while. I wish they would have made some more animations for her, other than just punch, throw the shield, kick a guy across the room. Because I felt like I saw the same fight 3 or 4 times in the episode. And it would have been nice, like, animate something different. Like, give me some extra. I mean, it felt kind of old school in the way that, like, when we were kids, like, a lot of times animation studios would just reuse the same animations over and over again. But it just felt kind of like it's 2021. You guys can, like, animate. And it's the only one that I felt that way about was that first one. And I think it was just because they had her do a fight scene so many times in that episode that it was like, okay, this is starting to feel like lather, rinse, repeat.
It's interesting you say that because normally I don't care about love stories really, but I would have liked to see more animation between her and little Steve Rogers
and Skinny Steve.
Yeah, Skinny Steve.
I don't disagree with that. I just, like I said, I wish, you're going all out. You're which by the way, one of the things that we keep on seeing popping in and out through multiple of these episodes are these tentacles.
The Hydra.
I gotta think it's Shumagorath, who is like this like cosmic entity from like the Marvel universe that I somehow think is gonna play into like the defeat of this Ultron that we've gotten, which by the way is breaking their own logic.
Yeah, how are the Infinity Stones working?
They shouldn't be.
So I hope they explain that.
They shouldn't be. And I won't even go into comic book canon, in which it's an established thing that Infinity Stones only work within their own universe.
Well, Loki explained it.
Exactly. You don't have to go all the way to the comics because
the
MCU already showed you, like if it's not in its own universe, it's a paperweight.
Yeah.
So as soon as Ultron breaks through the fabric of reality, unless he's somehow tethered to him, but even then, like, it shouldn't affect anything in another reality.
So this is the first time we see all Infinity Stones together, and then, like, outside of that universe. But even still, according to those rules, they shouldn't work. But then he's also an android made out of vibranium. So maybe the vibranium ties him back to, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Hopefully we'll get... look, if you're going to break your own logic, at least give me an explanation for why you're breaking your logic.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do that next time. Because even the Watcher, he's like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll get into it.
I got to get the branding on the camera.
What's that?
I got to get the brand name on the camera. Even though it's in the top corner. But yeah, like, if you're going to break your own rules, at least give me a brief, this is how this is working. Because it shouldn't. And you've established that it shouldn't. And if you're doing it here, that means maybe you're going to try to do it in one of the movies. And I'm going to want to know how you're doing it in the movie, too.
Especially with now we have an entire multiverse, right? All these branches established in Loki. So, is it... I wonder if the explanation is going to be that the Infinity Stones in those drawers, they're from universes that got pruned.
Oh,
And maybe that's why they don't. So maybe that's going to be the explanation.
but at least they give an explanation.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, even if it's just like variant Loki showing up to give us that explanation.
Which
Okay.
would be really cool if they did that in the cartoon.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves on the series.
Oh yeah, episode 1. Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah. Episode 2 was what if T'Challa became Star-Lord? So basically, oops, I kidnapped the wrong kid. Is the episode title.
Okay. You know, they all look the same. You know, that's super racist for all humans. You know,
the human race. That would be an appropriate term for the term racist. But yeah, I personally I liked it. I thought it was a fun episode. I like when what if episodes are not doom and gloom, but rather like, hey, what if just this happened and then it turned out to be a funny ending. Although of course we get that like dark ending with Ego showing up to get Peter himself.
But we get Thanos that
has turned to good.
You know, he's not gonna. There's another way.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they were all making fun of him the whole episode.
It's like, oh yeah, your idea was genocide.
Yeah.
From there we get to the what if the world lost the mightiest event, the mightiest heroes, in which we get basically a revenge story of Hank Pym.
That was a dark episode.
That was a very dark episode.
Yeah.
Also, just kind of proves that like Ant-Man, if used in a certain way, can be very effective and quite possibly the most badass.
Yeah, he could have killed Thanos.
I mean, the way he took out the
butthole and just, gone full hemorrhoid on him.
Yeah.
Boom, dead. No more Infinity Stones. No more.
Not really much to say about that episode other than that. I was just like okay, I get it. It's a time. It really is. What if Hope had become a hero after her mom had disappeared?
Right.
Is what that really is.
I did like Michael Douglas coming back. Really, most of the voices came back.
A lot, yeah. I think basically Robert Downey Jr. did not come back, and
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Or no, I think she did. I think this is before.
She had like competing.
Remember, this is before the.
No, it wasn't because of that. It was because of just scheduling.
Other commitments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look up the voice cast to see if it was actually her or not.
There was someone else too. Oh, Ultron. Ultron was voiced by the same person that did the Red Skull in Infinity Saga.
The guy from Walking Dead.
I don't. Maybe I don't remember his name.
There's an actor from Walking Dead who's been used as a voice double. Brown hair, beard. He was the guy that found Daryl in like season 4 or 5. I stopped watching Walking Dead over a year ago, so
after Glenn got smashed, I was like,
I hung out a little bit for a little bit after that. I just at a certain point I was like, man, this show's just depressing, and there's no hope in sight. So
I know. Like if I want depressing, I look outside. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. From there, we move on to the what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands, which is one that you were saying is like.
So in reality, the Nexus event there was Christine being
and Christine and him still being together,
right?
Because in the movie, he's driving on his own. They had broken up,
right?
So the Nexus event is they were still together. They were very much in love, and it's her death that kind of. Propels things, and it's just weird. And then I like how it's weird, just like it's like even the Ancient One kind of does her own little thing by like splitting him into two as well. So it's like he's only half of a Doctor Strange, like it's a nice little storytelling. I like how he goes like he just starts like we get little cameos of like the Vishanti and the. And Agamotto, and the celestial beings that like he draws his magical powers from. Again, the tentacles show up here again, he only takes he chops off a tentacle and takes the power from that. So like not even from the whole entity. And again, I think it's Shumagorath, which if you ever played, I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2, he's a playable character, and he's this like weird like octopus squid like alien being with like one big eye and all of that.
I just figured it was the Hydra, like like in
the Hydra could be Shumagorath.
It could be, yeah, and yeah.
When I'm thinking of tentacled beings that are like cosmic level power that are like within that universe of Doctor Strange and all that, Shumagorath is just the one that pops in my mind that I think is the one that it is. Not that he's like the big bad or anything like that, but just that like I think he's got a role to play in this. I think that's why we've seen the tentacles multiple times. Then from that episode we get into the what if zombies, which we get
blam, blam, blam.
Yeah, but you can tell Peter has seen Zombieland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's totally that character.
Yeah.
But we get a whole story. We get Bruce has come back, just like he did in Infinity War, except this thing has happened. With Janet being Janet being patient zero, and affecting Hank Pym, and then him bringing it back into like the regular, like, so it's and one of the things that's I don't know if you've noticed is that like the whole the Watcher from like episode 1 being almost like intangible and unseeable through like now being like fully tangible and like even being interacted with. Like I don't know if you noticed that as this episode's progressed, that's been happening.
Well, he's had to. Like he showed himself to a character for the first time with Doctor Strange. And it was probably because Doctor Strange was so powerful at that point he could, sense other dimensions or whatever. And then the next time, really, he wanted to intervene, it seemed, when Barton was looking through the files in the latest episode. Like it almost seemed like he was about to, but then Natasha found the file, and then obviously at the end, he's like, he goes to Doctor Strange, is like, yeah, I need your fucking help.
Yeah. And we kind of got something that we didn't get with So we get that episode, obviously.
Well, hold on. We can't just skip over all the puns that Ant-Man made.
Oh, yeah.
Just the head. I mean, when Guardian Leviosa, and all that. Oh, it was so great.
Yeah.
And how, like, can you imagine? That must be people's worst nightmares. Like Baba Goya, whatever they called her, the Scarlet Witch, right? As a zombie, like
Baba Yaga,
uncontrollable chaos magic. Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah. That very scary.
Well, that's the scary thing too, is that they still have their powers even though they're zombies. Now, somebody pointed out when you look at the characters, if you look at the way they were animated, the ears are still flesh colored. And when you go back to the comic book of Marvel Zombies, it's because it's not that they're like the dead and they've risen back up from the dead. It's that it's like a virus that like attacks like the nervous system or whatever. And so like they don't feel pain. The body's like deteriorating, but like they're still alive. Which is the whole thing of like how like Vision using the Mind Stone is able to kind of bring Scott back to back to his senses, even though he doesn't have a body.
Yeah, Vision kind of explained a little bit. It attacks the whatever. I don't know if he said hypothalamus or who cares. Some brain thing.
But if you look at how the zombies are animated, you'll notice like their skin is all like gray and rotting flesh, but then around like their ears, they're still like flesh colored, like because there's still like I guess like heat or warmth coming from the brain area. I don't know. It's somebody pointed it out that and I was like, oh yeah, and it made sense at the time, but it's like it's kind of a stretch, but it is what it is. Um, from there we go into the what if Killmonger had saved Tony Stark. So Tony Stark, obviously the Humvee gets blown up, but rather than him getting taken prisoner, Killmonger shows up and saves the day. Of course, we learn throughout the episode that he was kind of like he knew what was going to happen all along, and decided to he's like, oh, this is how I'm gonna get into the good graces of Tony Stark, is by doing this. What do you think of that episode?
The end of that episode ended with Shuri going to
Pepper.
Yeah.
And like, how are we gonna like I think Shuri found the footage where it shows the Killmonger set everything up and killed T'Challa and killed Rhodey. Then we get but basically he becomes like the Prince of Wakanda, and he's basically like one assassination away from becoming king.
Yeah.
Like he killed all these other people. He's not gonna hesitate to kill his uncle. But I thought overall good storytelling. I like how they were able to parallel with things from the MCU. But again, it's another what if where like evil triumphs, which a lot of what ifs are about evil triumphing because they rarely ever do in the real stories. But from there, we get what if Thor were an only child. So in this world, Odin doesn't take Loki to raise him alongside Thor. Odin gives Loki back to the Frost Giants. So Thor kind of grows up without his brother constantly messing with him and constantly playing tricks on him, and basically becomes frat boy number one. I thought it was a fun episode.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was good.
The mad scramble to clean up Earth.
That was
Mom's coming. I gotta clean up Earth. We do get the question answered. No, Captain Marvel cannot lift Mjolnir.
No. At least not in this
universe. Or at least not in that universe.
Yeah.
We get Freya as just imposing her will. Like you think Odin's scary. You've never seen Freya on the Warpath.
So that actually got me really curious. I wonder if we're gonna see her in some badass fight in one of the movies or something, because
I don't know.
They made her
a great way to bring back Rene Russo and be like, sorry, we didn't really use you more.
Yeah.
Although apparently I saw that the director of Thor: The Dark World was campaigning that he wants his own Zack Snyder moment.
Yeah, Snyder cut. Yeah.
And it's dude, you weren't fired off the project, so maybe you can get a director's cut. But if that director's cut involves the deleted scenes that were on the Blu-ray, that's probably all that Disney's going to be willing to give you, man, because Disney did not become one of the richest companies in the world by just spending money frivolously, and they don't have the image that the DC universe has with their films.
Yeah, I don't think they give a fuck that the second Thor movie wasn't that good, that
well received.
Yeah,
I liked it. Looking back at it as part of the series, it's a lot more of an enjoyable experience. So good luck with that. I mean, they might let you put out a director's cut where you add those deleted scenes back into the movie, and may even give you the budget to finish the effects and all that on those deleted scenes. But I don't see them letting you bring back the actors and do reshoots like that. That's just
Eccleston isn't coming back for whatever Elf reshoots. No.
Natalie Portman. You're not getting back Anthony Hopkins. You're not getting back Rene Russo for that.
No.
You know, it is what
Maybe
it
Rene
is.
Russo, but not Natalie Portman, not Eccleston, not.
Well, I mean, Natalie Portman might be easy because they're currently, I think they're still shooting Love and Thunder or something like that.
Oh, I thought they finished.
The most current, I don't know if they
Yeah,
finished.
Love
that.
and Thunder. Yeah.
But they might still be doing shoots on that. She comes in for reshoots on that. You can, hey, can we really quickly, like, can we do a reshoot for this other thing? You know, and like they pay her like whatever they're gonna pay her for that day or whatever. That's a lot easier to pull off than you think. But like Anthony Hopkins, who now in this universe has passed, Rene Russo, who was killed off in that movie, getting them to come in for reshoots for that, like that's a hard sell.
They should
Especially
just
because like none of them were like upset with how that movie came out. Like it's not like when the Whedon cut came out and like even the actors were like, this movie's completely different from what we filmed, and I support the Snyder cut. I don't see anybody rallying to support this guy for his release, but it is what it is. From there we get something that hasn't happened in any of these episodes up until now, which is all of a sudden we get like at the end of that story, we get Ultron showing up with all the Infinity Stones. So like so far all these episodes have been very like self-contained. There's been no crossover, there's been no setup for anything. None of these episodes.
So okay. Ego, the Living Planet, and Peter Quill. That was a setup, but maybe I don't know.
But it's just a setup, like an open-ended setup.
Yeah, but that could technically destroy the universe. There was a setup for Shuri and
Pepper.
Pepper, I guess, doing something. But yeah, it's not like the Doctor Strange episode ended with the entire universe collapsing, so there's nothing there.
Yeah. But with this episode, we get Ultron showing up with the Infinity Stones in a universe in which Ultron's not even a thing yet. Because this is like around the time of Thor 1. Like this is not this is not later on like Avengers, Age of Ultron timeline.
Well,
this is earlier than that.
Loki in this timeline he's Jotunheim.
Yeah, he's a frost giant in this.
But in reality, let's say he was normal Loki, first Avengers wouldn't have even happened yet. Because this is the first time Thor comes to Earth.
Exactly.
So this here's the confusing thing with this. I don't know if there was supposed to be an episode in between or what, but so this dude comes in with all the Infinity Stones at the end. It presumably not from this universe, right? From another universe.
Presumably.
But then the Watcher acts surprised at the end of the episode, but
unless it's a different Watcher.
Oh shit! Maybe it is a different Watcher. I'm being racist now. They all look the same.
Yes, the Watchers do all look the same. They're literally. They've even all got the same haircut. But
they go to John's barber.
Yeah, but from what I remember, Uatu was the Watcher of our universe, and other universes had their own Watchers.
So 616, which is
Uatu.
MCU. Okay.
Well, 616 is the comic book universe. But it's like Uatu can maybe, because it's weird. It's like the way that it is in my mind, and I could be completely wrong about this, is the Watchers exist outside of our universe, but watching our universe. But because, there are infinite universes, there are multiple Watchers. So what it could be, but in that world, in my mind fiction, they're not all called Uatu. It's like there's Uatu and there's Veratu and there's Nikto, you know, and it's like
And Bill.
and Bill, nobody's gonna get the reference that I just threw out. Watu, Niktu, even though it's not the actual words. But it's like, so maybe that's what it is. Like maybe these are not all Uatu. Maybe like these are different Watchers, and it just so happens that like oh, that Watcher knows about Ultron breaking through into the multiverse, but the other Watcher didn't know about it. I mean, but then we get into this episode, which was the What If Ultron Had Won, in which Ultron wins. Thanos shows up. Ultron's like,
Yep.
takes care of him in seconds,
In a
and
second.
goes, "Oh, what are these?" Takes the Infinity Stones for himself, and all of a sudden becomes the most powerful being in the universe. I'm like, oh, and it's like, well, I've conquered the universe. What's next? Hey, I see you there. And one's like, wait, what?
Yeah. And he tries to close the blinds, but it's too late. We've seen everything.
Yeah. And then at the end of this episode, we get the Doctor Strange from episode 4, who has been stuck in this like
Little bubble.
dead universe by himself. And Watcher's like, I need your help. And he's like, oh, okay.
What is he eating? Does he conjure up like steak?
I guess he's
you know?
magic, man. He can just...
Magic. Maybe he gets some tentacles now and then. He just summons the calamari.
He just grows a tentacle, chops it off, deep fries it. But yeah, man, we're gonna get. So it looks like that's what we're getting into next episode. Is we've got the multiverse, we've got this Ultron who's ultimate power, we've got this Doctor Strange who's also like super powerful.
Peggy Carter, I'm sure she'll be pulled in. Okay, so who are they pulling in? I'm thinking
Peggy Carter.
Okay, Captain Marvel. We've seen her a couple of times, so she's gotta be in here. Doctor Strange, obviously. T'Challa as Star-Lord T'Challa.
Okay. You think like every episode's just been a setup for like who they're gonna pull into it?
I think so. Party Thor.
Okay.
Black Widow. Probably.
It'll maybe the Spider-Man from the Zombies episode.
Yeah.
Um.
Maybe the Hulk too from there, because he probably survived that brawl.
We don't know. We didn't see it.
We didn't see him die.
Unless they unleash like the zombie Scarlet Witch on him.
Well, oh shit. So he fought her, right, in the episode. That's how they left. Like he was holding everybody back, but it seemed like they were head to head. Like she wasn't.
It depends how powerful they want to make the Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, in the one of my favorite Hulk fights of all time in the comic books was the Hulk versus this character called the Sentry, in which the Hulk literally gives up and stops fighting because their fight is getting so big and they're hitting each other so hard that they're about to break the earth. And Hulk, rather than like defeat his enemy and destroy the world, is like, I'd rather give up and put an end to the fight than like destroy the world doing it. So it's like, the whole, if they do Hulk of that level of power, then that would be awesome thing to see. From the Killmonger episode, do you think they bring in like Shuri as like an Iron Woman?
So from that episode, I think it would be interesting to have T'Challa from the other episode as Star-Lord, but then Killmonger as Black Panther. That would be kind of an interesting dynamic.
Okay. Yeah, that could be interesting.
I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know if they'll do it, but that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because he was the main character in that episode. So if we're going by main characters, I don't know.
Maybe even like a frost giant Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're going by episodes, you definitely got to bring in Captain Carter and probably Steve Rogers and the Hydra Stomper suit.
Well, he would be dead, right? Because it's been.
Not if they pull him through time.
So how would they do that?
I don't know. But it's comic books. You do whatever the hell you
You're
want.
right. You're right. There's time stones. There's watchers.
Yeah.
There's flux capacitors.
Yeah.
All types of stuff.
But yeah, man, that catches us up with What If. There's one episode left next week. Obviously, will be the conclusion to this episode. But it's been an interesting watch. And fun at times, sad at others, but overall a good watch. I was hoping that Pedro would have joined us by now before we start talking. But you've only seen like the first couple of episodes, so we won't get too deep into it. Star Wars Visions came out. I watched the whole thing just because I'm that kind of nerd.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You can't tout that you like all these episodes coming out week to week, and yet
I know. And then binge watch the entire Star Wars Visions. It was an easy binge watch. Those episodes were like 15 minutes long.
Right.
You're
a hypocrite. You just don't want us to have fun.
Look, each thing has its place. This I would not have watched week to week. A 15-minute short,
Well,
I would have
yeah,
been like,
15 minutes. It's not a...
I would have been like,
I think the first
they're all
episode
out of.
wasn't even that. I think it was like 13 minutes.
I think some were shorter.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Excellent
does this have
first
runtimes?
episode.
No, this does not have runtimes. It would have been cool if they would have included that Wikipedia.
I can probably pull it up.
Yeah, but you don't have to. But we get 9 episodes. It starts off with what I think is the strongest episode, which is the duel, which is Star Wars meets like a Kurosawa. It's like what? It's like what if we had like Ronin, but they were Jedi, like, or Sith. Now all these stories, it's an anthology series. These stories are not canon. They do not actually take place within the Star Wars universe, although they will likely influence things that occur within the Star Wars universe. I'm going to say it right now. The attachment for the lightsaber that turns it into a lightsaber umbrella looks badass in animation. If you do it in live action, it's going to look like a silly moronic thing. Like the switchblade dual lightsaber that Rey had, which I'm sure as a concept was like, what if she has a lightsaber and then like it unfolds and it turns into like a lightsaber staff? In concept, I'm sure on paper, people were like, oh, that would be badass. In practice, looked idiotic.
I'm not a big Star Wars purist, anything like that. I just take it for what it is. It probably wouldn't look great. It would look like, Grandma, Grandma Sith forgot her umbrella broke and, I don't know.
Well, but like, it also like there's just certain things that when you put them in live action, they don't translate. And that would be one of them. Yeah. Like, if Rey, like one of the things when I remember, because I was in high school when Phantom Menace came out, and I remember I was having a conversation with one of my classmates, and we're talking about that scene where Darth Maul unveils the lightsaber, the dual-bladed lightsaber, and he goes, before the movie comes out, and he's like, I'm looking forward to that scene because just at a certain point, he's going to be fighting these two guys, and he's just going to go like, click, click, and like it's going to separate, and it's going to be two lightsabers. And they didn't do that in the movie. And to this day, I still think if you want to do a more compact dual-bladed lightsaber, maybe that's the way you do it. Is they have a coupler in the middle that like lets you hook them together, and then you have your lightsaber, dual bladed lightsaber, and then you just go like click click, and you pull them apart, and you've got 2 lightsabers. Which is a very useful thing to have. The hilts are shorter, so like you don't have to have like this big giant hilt hanging off the side like Darth Maul did. But at the same time, it's like you can still put them together, and you've got a good size hilt to it.
What about the banana lightsaber that Count Dooku had?
So there's actually an interesting story for that.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee, his royal badass. If you've never read up on Christopher Lee, I highly suggest you do so. Christopher Lee, not only a great, magnificent actor, badass World War II veteran hero.
Oh.
But Christopher Lee came up in the theater in a time when, like, if you were an actor, and especially if you were like an actor who did like Shakespeare and things like that, you learned how to fence. So that when you did your fencing on stage and things like that, like you knew how to wield a sword. And because Christopher Lee was an actual fencer, and because he used that one-handed style, if you notice, every lightsaber user in the Star Wars universe, usually they use the two-handed katana style of fighting. Christopher Lee did not. He used a single-handed, fencing style. Allowed him to do flourishes, allowed him to do that. Because of that, that's why they gave him that curved hilt. Because it just kind of sits better in the hand, and the hilt balances a little bit better, like for the actor, for the purposes of, the wielding it around and stuff like that. It's designed for one-handed use. That is the in-storyline reason why that lightsaber hilt is shaped the way it is. But again, they actually explained it in the behind the scenes. They explained it in the book, because obviously the book always gives us extra information we don't get in the movie, because the book gives us like people's thoughts. And that's one of the things they explained is like Dooku was an established fighter in a specific style. He was an established fighter with single-handed combat, and that's why he had that special design, which allowed him to use that. Technically, he could have used like one of Yoda's lightsabers. That would have worked too, because Yoda, being his size, that hilt was only like a tiny little thing. Which there are advantages to a dual-handed weapon. Kind of lets you bring in a little bit more force with with less power. But at the same time.
But how do those work? Like, they're made of light, Like, do they have any weight, or is all the weight in the handle? Did they ever explain
that? That has been a concept of debate among the fandom forever. Does the blade weigh anything? We know from all the reading that I've ever done, we know that it's a plasma blade. Obviously, plasma considerably less weight than the handle. But if you ever pick up a sword, usually the weight of a sword is in the handle. It's in the hilt. The from the crossguard back, that's where it should weigh as much there as the blade does in front of it. The blade should be relatively light, almost weightless, so that while there is some weight to it, it doesn't strain you out. It doesn't get you. Like, it should be where you grab it. It should be balanced, so that it doesn't feel like there's any weight on the end of it. So by that logic, whether or not the blade has any weight to it or not, there's not a whole lot of things where that comes into play, except when the dueling another saber. At which point it's like, well, we know there's a force that when these blades come together, they don't go through each other or anything. So there's obviously something there. But at the same time, it's like, is that an actual mass, or is that like an electromagnetic kind of repulsion? Like when you take two magnets together and and like they're the same
Opposite.
polarity.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's one of those things. But it'd be weird because by that logic, it's like the lightsabers go like this, and they don't, and then all of a sudden they go like this and they stick.
Yeah.
Like, or one of them rotates.
That's it.
Now they're
That'd be
stuck together.
super
Like, oh
awkward.
shit. But so back to the first episode, the duel.
A cool fight.
Very
really
cool fights.
fight.
Very, very cool fights.
What a way to start a series, I think. Really, really good.
I will tell you, for me, it's pretty much downhill from there.
Oh yeah?
I understand, you know, they made this episode 1. I think they wanted us to like get our attention and grab our attention. There are some good moments throughout the series. It's a short watch, so you'll be done watching it like relatively quickly. But I feel like maybe they should have ended with this one because it was, I think, the strongest episode there was. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. And then you said you saw episode 2, right?
Part of it, and
Part
to
of
your
it.
Point, I didn't even get past like the 3-minute mark. I'm like, this is
Episode 2 felt the most like modern anime to me. Hey, Edwin.
hello.
Yeah, episode 2 felt the most anime to me, and this whole like, I'm a Hutt, but I don't want to be a gang leader. I want to be a rock star, and I've built this like rock band in Star Wars, and it's like, oh my god, this is the most like anime thing ever. Of course they would have like a rock band, and it's like a Hutt and like a Jedi Padawan who's on the run, and like there's a droid on base, I think.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'll say that it was interesting.
Yeah. And you don't even finish the episode, so I can't even like.
No. I'll go back and finish it maybe this weekend.
I can tell you, like from there we get this like we get some weird stuff. We get like some alternate reality stuff. It gets a little weird. I will ask this. I personally am a heathen. Also, I saw that this had a pretty decent voice cast. So I went ahead. I watched it with the dubbed version with the English actors. I do plan on going back and watching it in Japanese with the subtitles.
Wait, the show is in Japanese?
There is the option to watch it in Japanese with subtitles.
Oh.
Yeah. But again, I mean, I saw the voice cast. I saw that they went and they got guys like Neil Patrick Harris and stuff like that to do voices. And I was like, well, if you're going to spend money on the voice cast, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to it, you know, with the...
Speaking
with the
of
voice
him, did you guys talk about the Matrix trailer?
We did not. That came out while we were on in between episodes.
So, I mean, it was good. It looked good.
It looks good. There's a lot of rumors are starting to like, you know, like fly around now of like, oh, was the Matrix made up the entire time and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. I'll wait till I'll wait till it comes out so that I know. Because like some people are saying like the Matrix never existed in the first place. It was always Neo's like it was always his like delusion or whatever. But we know Neo died at the end of the previous trilogy.
Yeah, but we also know that there's resurrection.
Yeah, everyone's like, but no Morpheus. Is like, well, yeah.
There is a Morpheus type fella in the
But
trailer.
he's a younger model.
Yeah. So.
And personally, I want Larry Fishburne.
Yeah, I mean they got Trinity back. Why not him? You know. I wonder if there was a conflict in schedule or something. I mean, I don't know what he's doing these days.
I don't know. But whatever. I know I'm gonna watch it, and it's an HBO, it's an HBO Max thing, so I won't even have to leave the house to watch it.
No, bro, you have to watch that in the big screen.
I don't know. We'll see.
Did you watch Shang-Chi in the theater and
I did, but that's because I didn't want to pay $30 for it.
In the theater?
No, and on Disney Plus.
Oh,
If I wanted to see it on Disney Plus, I would have had to pay $30 to see it at home, which if I was going to the movie with like a wife and kids would make financial sense. But when it's just me by myself, that doesn't make any sense at all.
don't do yourself that disservice. You gotta like things. Okay, imagine like Interstellar, like not watching that in the theater. I mean, what an experience! Even not in IMAX, and then watching it at home, it's just not the same. Especially if you ever watched it in the theater, the soundtrack is sometimes overwhelmingly loud, and they did that on purpose with the scenery that was going on. I think it was like in black hole scenes, especially like the bass and the music was just super loud. Like Hans Zimmer made it a point, and Christopher Nolan made it a point to like do that as part of the experience, and you just don't get that at home.
That's true. We'll see. Well, it comes out in December, right?
Really?
Is it? I think it's end of the year.
And we just got the trailer. Wow, I didn't know. Well, so, damn, that's really good. So that means we have Eternals, we have Matrix, we have No Way Home. That sounds like we have Hawkeye series coming. It's like a holiday. It seems like a feel-good holiday, Man, looking like a good end of the year.
Yeah, release date December 22.
Oh, right. It's a Christmas, right?
It's a Christmas release.
Okay.
Edwin asks, Top Gun or Matrix? What are you watching first? When does Top Gun come out? Because that's been pushed back.
Yeah, they kept pushing it. I thought they pushed it back to next year. But
Top Gun Maverick. Release date May 27 of 2022.
I thought
so that's an easy one, Edwin. It'll be Matrix first.
Yeah, so, yeah. The answer, Edwin, is the Matrix.
Yeah. Because Top Gun won't be out yet. He says Chris was saying, no, I just looked it up. Comes out in May of 2022. They're waiting for the next summer season. Yeah, well, it is what it is.
I'll never forget, now that, because he mentioned Top Gun, I'll never forget the story that Edwin told me about Val Kilmer at Wells Fargo. You'll have to bring him on the show to tell the story, because
maybe we'll have him on as a guest when Top Gun comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's
poor guy too, right? Like he's
not dead. He had throat cancer. He survived, and yeah,
poor guy though. Classic, yeah.
Look, man, the guy was going through some shit. Let's not fat shame him.
No, I think this is well before he was going through shit.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he's been struggling with this for like a while.
Yeah.
It's odd making fun of a cancer survivor for weight gain. Make fun of me. I'm just a fat bastard. Don't make fun of the guy with cancer.
I don't know if he had cancer back then. I mean, this was a long time.
He says it was well before.
Yeah.
As a fat guy, I try not to fat shame others.
It wasn't the fat thing. No way. It was him being how he was.
Prima donna type.
Yeah.
I know that people are like, fat Val Kilmer, and I'm like, that's if he's the pot, I'm the kettle. Like,
Yeah, just never make fun of people who are fat. That's it.
Yeah.
Or because they're fat.
I like how Edwin says I'm fat too. Like, you've got a bit of a gut on you. You're not fat.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so definitely, it's worth checking it out. Like I said, I heard it had a good voice cast, so I just watched it in English. And to be honest, I may have had it on while I was doing other things, so like it was within earshot. Although it is a very good-looking series, I did find myself kind of glued to the screen while it was on. At least for certain episodes, I did. Other episodes, kind of. But I will probably go back and watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. Not only because sometimes, like, the dubbing things get lost in the translation, and then when you see them in subtitles, you're like, wait, that's not what they said in the dub. But it's one of those things where it's like that. And then, I mean, the last bit of news, and I was hoping that our guest would have joined us, but we're just going to go ahead without him. Can we talk about these culturally insensitive racists who are casting the Mario movie? Casting Chris Pratt as Mario? I mean...
My first comment was, is he Italian?
He's not!
Is he an Italian plumber?
No, he's not!
So it's funny you say that, because when John told me, I was like, wait till the SJWs get to this. They're gonna be like, this guy is not. He's not an Italian plumber. No.
The WAFs movie Rewind episode, and then he says, "Give the people what they want." Literally, I think one person wants that.
Is it Edwin? Is Edwin the one person?
Yeah. We'll see. Well, I don't know. We'll have to pick. He's not an Italian Japanese plumber. Exactly. This is one of those weird fuck up things where you go, first of all, why are you hiring big name actors for a Mario animated movie?
You know what? I'm fine with that.
It doesn't need it. First of all, the voiceover community is full of talented voice actors who work day in, day out on all kinds of projects that could have easily handled this job. Second of all, I could have walked into like Brooklyn, New York, found like two like New York Italian guys, been like, you two guys want to come over and like just record dialogue for a day, would have been probably more authentic than Chris Pratt. And I think Charlie Day is playing Luigi.
I'm very fine with that, and I'm very fine with the casting for Donkey Kong.
Well, yeah, like so. Let me elaborate on this. When you have, say, an unknown property, right? Like, for example, the movie that's coming out now from Disney, Encanto or whatever. Nobody knows those characters. Nobody knows who those characters are. If you want to go and get, like, name actors from the Hispanic American community to voice those actors, to maybe, like, so you could tell grandma, vamos a ver esta película que fulana es la voz de tal. I get that. When you've got like a Wreck-It Ralph that nobody had ever heard of, and you go, yeah, let's get John C. Reilly to do the voice of Wreck-It Ralph, and we'll get Sarah Silverman to play Vanellope. I get that. Nobody knows who these characters are. If you put a name actor to the voice, you're going to get some butts and seats. But Mario, everybody fucking knows Mario. Nobody needs, who's voicing Mario? If Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, well, I'm not going to go see this movie. Or, Chris Pratt is voicing Mario, I'm going to go see this movie. Like, you don't need that. Mario could have been voiced by like an Italian grandfather from like that they actually went to Italy and were like, we want authenticity. We went to Italy and found a plumber and he's the voice of Mario. And people will be like, yeah, it's Mario. It doesn't really matter.
The other thing with Mario is everyone already has a type of voice in their head for him. Like,
because the video games, the video games gave us that. Chris Pratt is not going to go, it's me, Mario.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
We don't know.
Also, would it be racist if he did?
And that's where I was telling John. I'm like, I don't know, man.
Because Chris Pratt, I don't know why, I get Northern European vibes off of Chris Pratt. I want to say he's maybe like maybe some, you know what, his hair is brown, but it's kind of on the reddish side. So, okay, I just looked it up. So his mother is of Norwegian descent. So right off the bat, Northern European, just like I said. And his father is English, German, Swiss, and French Canadian.
Man, I would have pegged him as
Tremenda
just like
mezcla.
a Wisconsin guy, or like Idaho or something.
Um,
Because remember him in
where is he
Parks and
from?
Rec, right? Like he was just a simple. I mean, he was acting too, but I would see his interviews on Conan, and he was very similar to his character.
Okay, it doesn't get much wider than this. Born in Virginia, Minnesota.
Oh,
There is a town of Virginia
okay,
in Minnesota.
okay.
Is it not racist, Edwin? It's a cultural stereotype.
This man is a father.
Yeah. But again, and I wish John was on here now. As a half Italian American, I would like to get his opinion on this.
Oh, John is offended by nothing, so
That's true. But yeah, it's like it is it. You know what it is? It's like me being a kid growing up watching Scarface, and the Cuban guy is being played by an Italian American. You know?
okay.
Which, granted, that guy is Al Pacino, and he's one of the greatest actors ever.
So,
But he's still an Italian American playing the Cuban guy.
how great would it have been if Al Pacino got cast as Mario?
That would have been I'll tell you,
Mario.
but I tell you who I would have gone.
Who?
I would have gone Mario and Luigi, Joe Pesci, and Robert De Niro. Hey,
Okay.
it's me. It's a Mario. Hey, what are you laughing at? You laughing at me? Am I funny to you? Am I some kind of funny guy? A little bit. I don't know. It is what it is.
Pretty good.
Although then you could have like bring in Pacino for Bowser. Of course, I kidnapped her. She's got a great big ass. Like, I would, you know what? I wouldn't have even cast them. I would have just pulled dialogue from all their movies. It's like one of those like weird robot YouTube things where they just like
Yeah. Hurrah!
It's me, Mario. Hurrah!
Hurrah! They did a good job with Peach, though, casting Peach.
I mean, generic white girl.
Yeah, she looks like a princess. I don't know.
I mean, kind of hard to fuck that one up. Hollywood's full of generic white girls.
Yeah.
It's not like they were like, for the part of Princess Peach, Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, that would have been. Oh,
that would have been great.
God. I'd pay for that. I would pay for that movie.
Let's throw out there. Let's cast this ourselves. I like my idea, Joe Pesci, and it's not even Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. It's the guys from SNL.
Bobby Moynihan?
No, the ones that used to do the Joe Pesci show at the skit on SNL. Jim Brewer and
dude,
I forget who was his De Niro on that.
I have no clue. That's before me.
Wow, that was like mid to late 90s.
I didn't really watch the midnight. I started watching like when Will Ferrell was on, like Sherry O'Terry, Molly Shannon, late 90s, really.
Well, I know it was Jim Brewer as Joe Pesci, and then who was his De Niro? Jim Brewer played the title character. Oh, and Robert De Niro would often be played by the host for the episode. So like Alec Baldwin, John Goodman, Colin Quinn. So like he had like different like rotating De Niros. Edwin says Toad played by Batista. Just in the most anti type ever. Like tiny little Toad is played by giant Batista. I would go Whoopi for Peach. I'm sticking with that one.
That's solid. That's gold.
Yeah, Yoshi doesn't get a voice. Yoshi is just sound effects. Like,
dude, if Groot got a Vin Diesel voice, they can do.
It's Vin Diesel, but he's
Vin
going.
Diesel it's, all he says is family the whole time.
Yeah. It says Luigi played by Tracy Morgan.
Oh, that's a good one.
Luigi played by Tracy Morgan, less offensive than Chris Pratt playing Mario. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm sure Chris Pratt's going to do a great job. I like Chris Pratt. I think he's fun. But again, I feel like it's such stupidity. It's like, we're going to do a Mario animated movie and we're going to fill it with stars. Why?
It's just a weird. It's not knocking him. It's knocking the cast.
The studio.
Yeah, because he's fun.
And if you would have told me we're doing a live action Mario and we're going to have Chris Pratt as Mario, then I would go, okay. Except it can't be like all shredded and cut up Marvel Chris Pratt. It's got to be like soft and doughy, early Parks and Recreation Chris Pratt. And then
it's not action, right? It's animated, isn't it?
Well, it's animated, yeah. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like if this was live action, I would totally be in for Chris Pratt as Mario. Except now we need like a tall, skinny guy to play Luigi.
How tall is Paul Rudd?
Ooh.
Because he would probably be a good Luigi.
And it doesn't matter that he's older. I mean,
oh my God, he looks younger than both of us. That guy doesn't. He's a vampire.
I don't think Paul Rudd is taller than Chris Pratt. And I want Luigi. Like Luigi's got to be like a good 5-6 inches taller than Mario. Yeah. It's got to be that way. It has to be. If it's not that way, I demand you go back and reshoot. Like
Tom Cruise is Mario.
Tom Cruise is Mario, and then
he's like 5'4", isn't he, or something like that?
Wait, is there like a tall white guy in the NBA? Can we get
Larry Bird? Larry Bird is Larry Bird.
Man. But yeah, like it is one of those things where it's like it took the internet by storm this weekend. People were all up in arms. Our community in the group was like, oh, there were all kinds of memes and posts about it. Somebody posted like it's the scene from the Lost World Jurassic Park, but Chris Pratt is dressed like Mario and the Raptors are all Yoshis.
Although I saw that.
Although they made them all like green Yoshis, and I feel like it should have been like a Yoshi of each color,
like a blue one, a yellow one, a green.
Yeah, give us the different Yoshis. I mean, there are different Yoshis in the Marvel universe. They're not all the same one. He made it just before we wrapped up.
Broski.
Oh,
all right. Cliff notes. What do you guys think of Visions? Because I totally missed it. Sorry, it was Mama's birthday.
So Rag's only seen like the first episode and a half.
I thought the first episode was great, but the second, I got like 3 minutes in.
What's the second one? I don't remember the second. What's
the Rock Band?
Rockstar.
That's the worst one. That's the absolute worst one.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the most Japanese one. I thought.
No.
That's like the most Japanese anime thing ever.
No way, sir.
The
there's legit one made by the dude. If you like anime, this shit's a treat, bro. Straight up, this is a treat. There's the guys from Naruto did the Seventh Jedi. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that one's
one
the best
where
one.
Like they all get the one where they all get called into a trap.
Yeah, that one's really good. That one's really fucking good. Studio Trigger, studio behind Kill
This
la
is where
Kill.
this is where Pedro nerds out more than I do because Pedro knows all these animation studios and
Yeah,
like
bro, fucking dude, I'm obsessed with them. So Studio Trigger did Kill la Kill, and their style is just it stands alone. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of anime studios, but some of them kind of have the same kind of tropes. This one has a style to it. Some people don't even get it. I saw some people complaining that it's the twins episode. Remember the
Mhm.
twins? So in the twins, there some people were like, "Oh, that shit." They were lazy animators. They weren't like doing the in betweens. But that's Studio Trigger shit.
that's
Like,
their visual style.
that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like they do a lot of jump cuts. You'll see them standing on top of the X-wing, and then the next scene, the next cut will be them inside the X-wing shooting something. It's just how they do their shit. That one's one of my favorites. Uh, the ninth samurai is my favorite one. Second to what's the one? The bunny rabbit one. I forgot the name. Wait, I wrote some notes.
Okay, so episode 1 was the duel. This is the
That
one
one's
where
sick
we
as
get
fuck.
like, yeah, that which I thought that was the best one.
Fun fact. That's uh damn Kamikaze Doga, something like I don't know, something like that. It's the guys who
Yeah.
did the samurai Batman.
Okay.
Same dudes. And they also did
Um.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah. Now I told Rag, I do not want to see some of these things make their way into the live action versions.
I do. I want to see all of them.
I want to see the umbrella lightsaber in live action
I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. That shit was so fucking
in
tight.
animation. It looks great in animation. I don't think it would translate into live action.
Dude, you saw Grievous. It's pretty much the same concept. It's exact as a matter. No, it's the same exact concept.
It's
That
the same
shit-
concept, but Grievous is a 4-armed robot holding 4 lightsabers.
And this is a
This is like I have a special thing and I slip a lightsaber
that's
into it
what's
and it
cool.
comes out like
that's what I think is cool about this, because you see different cultures doing in Japanese cultures. That is like a thing. There are like female ninjas that had umbrellas, and that's like a thing. And
well, and that's great for the animated style.
nah,
I
I would
don't
love to see
think
that
if you
shit.
tried to do that in live action that would
Favorite
like it, looks
thing.
like it comes out like that meme when they released when they first came out with like the cross guard lightsaber that Kylo Ren had, and so people started like drawing like all kinds of like Swiss Army knives and shit like that lightsabers. Like it starts looking like that meme.
Nah, bro.
So keep it in
like.
anime. In
I don't-
the anime, it looks great.
I don't want. I want shit to be different, bro. I don't. I'm tired of the same old shit all the time. I want there to be fucking samurai, Viking fucking Jedi. I want to see a Jedi without a lightsaber. I want to see. I want to see a bounty hunter Jedi like we had in the Rebels show. Fucking the main character, the main Jedi dude. I forget his name already, bro. It's been too long.
Kanan?
Kanan was more of like a Han Solo type character than he was a Luke Skywalker. I want to see shit like that, bro. I'm tired of seeing the guy with the sword. That one, the one, the Ninth Jedi one. By the way, that's the same studio that did Ghost in the Shell and Evangelion. By the way, Ghost in the Shell is a big one. Anyway,
Okay,
they
so that was episode 1. Episode 2 is the Rock Band one,
sucked,
which
whack,
that just screamed
trash.
Like of course, anime, of course. Episode 3, the twins, the one that you were talking
Phenomenal.
about, Studio
Love it.
Trigger.
Love it.
Which I know that they had different names, but I got super vibes of like this is an alternate universe Luke and Leia.
Well, the whole plot. Spoiler, Raul. Sorry. Yeah, plug up. The whole thing was they used the cloning mechanism, and they were infused with the dark side to be force sensitive. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like test tube babies. That one was sick. But I love Studio Trigger. I fucking love that shit. There's two. There was two episodes with Studio Trigger. It was 2 teams. It was the Kill la Kill one, and the second one I'm not very familiar with, but they did two episodes.
From there we get The Village Bride by
Phenomenal.
Citrus.
Yeah, Citrus. Whatever. Citrus. Yeah.
Now
was great.
this one I enjoyed. This is the one where they come to a planet and like the planet is being like attacked by like basically bandits who want to take like the like the I guess the daughter of the chief or whatever as a hostage.
as collateral. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that was a good episode. I liked that episode. Um, then we get the Ninth Jedi. Uh,
Best one. Easy.
Production IG is the name of the studio.
Yep.
I love this one. This is the one with
They had so
like
many great concepts in that episode. They had the
I
lightsaber.
love the little girl and like she picks up the lightsaber and it's like a black blade and almost semi-transparent. And as
Yeah,
she becomes stronger,
it kind of showed you it kind of like reminisces the idea of a gray Jedi that there's no
right?
side.
But it also gives you this like, oh yeah, the color of the lightsaber is depending on the wielder of the.
And that's how they unravel the truth and the size of the blade. It
Yeah.
changes depending on how they're feeling. That I think that's a concept that they should absolutely use for a future.
Well, so obviously up until now, every Jedi has had to build their own lightsaber.
Yeah.
So that's how we get the color of the blade. In one of my favorite novels from the Legends, one of the characters, when he builds his lightsaber, actually builds it with like a disc that he can kind of twist that separates the gap between like the emitter and the crystal, allowing for a much larger blade, which is be something cool too. This was a little bit more of a stretch in that this sabersmith just builds these lightsabers and then like they attune to whoever he gives them to.
Yeah, but that's a whole Japanese culture again. You get your blade made by a master, bladesmith. That's the whole concept. That's what I think. This is like a breath of fresh air for me. I fucking love the like the visual styles of everything. I love like how there's deeply rooted in like Japanese culture. Like I love all of that shit. That's why I want more. I want to see fucking Vikings. I want to see fucking Egyptian shit. I want to see some crazy ass shit.
No, I would be down for that. Yeah. Then the next episode we get is the TOB1 or Toby.
Oh, the little Astro Boy episode.
Yeah.
I love the style for it. I didn't care much for the story. The armless Jedi was kind of cool though.
Yeah, this is a studio by the name of Science Saru.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was Astro Boy.
Yeah, it was.
He's a little droid, but living with his Jedi Master father, and he becomes like a Jedi himself, even though he's a droid.
But that's awesome. That's another concept.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Why can't we have droids?
I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying,
awesome.
like, very much an Astro Boy type thing.
It was sick.
From there, we get The Elder, which is another Studio Trigger.
There we go. What's The Elder? I don't remember that one.
This is the one where the two go to explore the planet on the outer rim.
The mountain. That one was sick as fuck.
The fight scene in that was awesome.
Dude, but that's just anime in general. The storylines for animes aren't ever that great, but fucking
also just in general, that tactic of I'm gonna shut off the lightsaber, move it, and then turn it back on, and
that show's sick.
The one after that is Lop and Ocho.
I fucking love that Geno Studio boy. Yeah. The one with the rabbit. That one was sick as fuck.
And then the final one, Akakiri, also by the studio Science Saru, and that's the one that's prior to the initial extinction of the Sith. A Jedi named Tsubaki has been suffering from visions of an unidentified individual dying in front of him.
Oh yeah,
reunites with his old love.
That one was cool, but I didn't really care for it. But it was like the style of it was fucking gorgeous.
Somebody, I'm trying to remember who it was, but I heard somebody described it as like these could almost be like the stories that are told within the Star Wars universe.
I would love to see the twins in live action. I would love to see. I forget the name of the Jedi that they went to go meet at the Ninth Jedi, the one that was trying to restructure the Jedi Order. Right. I would love him to be canon, like just a mainstay.
Like
really
years and years after everything that was happened in the movies. That
Yes,
we've
I would
gotten.
love to see that. I would love to see also Hop or Lop, whatever her name was, the bunny rabbit. I would love to see that race in the universe. A very Japanese race. That shit's so sick.
Well, I mean that's always a possibility that you get something like that in the background.
Bro, I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Isn't there a rabbit species in that universe in Star Wars? It was a comic book for a while. They did like a TV show. It's a green rabbit. You know what I'm talking about?
Captain Carrot
No.
or Bucky O'Hare,
Bucky O'Hare. Yeah,
but that wasn't within the Star Wars universe.
he's in the Star Wars. There's a bunch of comics with him in it now.
Oh yeah, I didn't know, but I wasn't
Now
already crossover.
He's a crossover in. Yeah.
Well, remember, it's not as if we have books and comic books to pull things from.
Facts.
But yeah, man. Do you watch any of What If yet, or you're waiting for the final episode?
I'm not really interested anymore, bro. Honestly, I don't care.
Okay.
But
what else?
It's pretty good, man. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, you hopped on just as we were finishing up talking about the Mario casting.
Oh yeah, what do you
Yeah.
guys think of that?
I was just making fun of it. The whole uproar that the internet has gotten into. I personally am of the belief that because it's a Mario animated film, you don't need name actors to sell the cast. Like you could have walked into Brooklyn, pulled two guys off the street, and been like, "Hey, you guys want to play Mario and Luigi? Come here. We're gonna record the voices," and the movie would have sold just as many tickets.
Yeah, I actually love it. But a lot of people are like backlash because we're so used to like the Nintendo 64 version of Mario. Though, well, it's me, that guy.
Well, I'm of the opinion of where are these social justice warriors? Are they going to back the Italian American community when they say, why is the Italian plumber being played by like a white boy from Michigan? No, it wasn't from Michigan. It was from where? From Minnesota. With
Virginia,
like Norwegian
Minnesota.
ancestry.
Virginia,
Minnesota. That's what it was. Virginia, Minnesota. The whitest place ever.
Eben did make a good casting call, and he said Whoopi Goldberg
For Peach.
Jesus.
Mario, save me!
Nah, but like
Get your hands up.
a lot of people have like I've seen online a lot of people fucking trashing it, but I actually think it's a good move because so far we're so used to. There's the actor who I don't even know if he's a real actor, but he's the voice actor for Mario. He does the voice acting for every character in that game, and he's limited himself down to saying "it's a me" or "woohoo," like simple little things. It would be very difficult for him to carry an entire role of him just having dialogue and conversation.
Doing that voice.
It would be one, very hard, and two, very obnoxious for the viewer. Like nobody wants to sit through all that. You know what I mean?
If we're being 100% honest, though, I personally, when you've got an animated movie where the characters are already popular and well known, give the voice acting community some jobs, man. There are a lot of voice actors out there who they don't ever get to do movie roles because the movie studios give the money to famous actors, like famous screen actors.
Yeah, but I mean that's the nature of the beast, bro. You go to look at video games; there's barely ever any movie stars in this shit.
Yeah, but you know who I would like to? You know who I want to see voice the? I wouldn't mind seeing voice the Mario movie. Is the cast of Critical Role?
No.
Give me Sam. You can give me Sam as Mario. You can give me Liam as Luigi. Give me Travis as Bowser, and give me Matt as like 500 characters.
Huh.
And then you could have like
the only cast, the only character that I think was cast not well, just because I don't see how that's gonna work, is Donkey Kong. Whatever his name is, the high dude. I feel like that's the only one that Seth. Is it Rogen? Yeah, I guess. So.
You said the high dude, so immediately my mind goes there.
That was the one I thought they did the best on.
Really? Have you ever played a Donkey Kong game? Donkey Kong sounds like an unga bunga meathead. This guy does not sound like a meathead.
he sounds like a meathead. Also, we just talked about how you liked that Mario was not going to sound like
right. But he's a gorilla and he's big and buff, bro. I don't want a high. Hey, dude, let's chill out. I don't want that. To be Donkey Kong. Yeah, I'm sorry. That
I think
for
it's
me
a perfect casting.
I don't
for
think
that.
that's good. I think everybody else is great. I think Jack Black as Bowser is a fucking amazing pick.
I just find it weird. It's like Chris Pratt is Mario, but then Charlie Day is Luigi.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be great. Well, it's because Luigi usually has a higher pitched voice and a more of a whiny voice, and that's
Right, but
all.
like Charlie Day, great, but like it like I feel like I don't know, it's an odd pairing. Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, I'll be honest, like I have not watched the chess show.
Oh, I haven't either, but she was in the New Mutants.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
She was good.
I think I saw that once.
More importantly, is you look at the cast and you could see the direction where this is going. It's not going to be a serious thing. They're going to be cracking jokes all the fucking time. It's going to be like a fucking a Sonic movie, but all CG. And Sonic was great. So
we get Jack Black as Bowser.
great.
That's pretty good.
That's a really good cast.
Yeah, I like it. I wonder if Jack Black can get that menacing.
He's not though. Bowser is like a chump bitch. in the new games, like in the new game, he tried to get married to Peach, and Peach fucking turned him down, and he got real sad. That's where Bowsette came from, because both Mario and Peach got fucking turned down, so they just turned himself into a girl, and he just fucked Mario. Fuck it. Who gives a shit?
Then we get Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Terrible. I think the best. No, the best one is Toad.
Keegan
He is gonna be the best Toad ever.
I just imagine like Toad is this fast talking and all that.
Yeah.
Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Like, really?
I love Fred Armisen, man. He's
Here
good.
we go. They did throw some love the way of like voice actors. Kevin Michael Richardson is playing Kamek, who's like the wizard Koopa.
Oh,
Which weird, but Kevin Michael Richardson, awesome actor. Kevin Michael Richardson's been doing voice work on cartoons since like the 80s.
but the main voice for Mario is in the movie too. He's going to be a guest appearance, which is shows a lot of love, bro. Because you never get that.
And then the funny thing is, like they announced one Spike is one of Bowser's kids, right?
Yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco, who's a comedian who is a New York Italian descent guy. Spike's gonna sound more like Mario than Mario.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, I don't think the Italian plumber gimmick was only Super. This is the shit that we grew up with. It was Super Nintendo, and they never again mentioned him being an Italian plumber after Nintendo 64. They kind of were like, oh, that's kind of fucking insensitive. But he still had that "it's me" fucking voice. But they never said, oh, he's Italian or nothing like that. So I'm pretty sure they're trying to steer away from it. Like,
you know what would have been funny? It would have been funny if they would have brought back what's his face, Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
They fucking for sure should have.
Maybe they will.
Maybe they will. Actually, Gizamo should have played fucking Luigi again. I think he was fucking amazing. He was so good in that movie.
We never got a sequel to that movie.
Yeah, well,
I remember being a little kid and seeing that, like when Daisy comes in with the flamethrower, and she's like, "You need to come back," and it's like, "Oh!" And then we never got the movie, and like 12 or 11-year-old me was devastated.
Yeah,
I don't remember how old I was.
I don't think we needed a second one. That was a pretty bad movie.
It was really bad.
No, adult me agrees, but you know, it was 1993. I was 12 years old. 12-year-old me was like so ready for that movie to come out. Like, oh man, what do you think they're gonna do in the sequel? You think we're gonna get Tanuki suit? Oh man, but
I'm excited for an hour and a half. I'm into the movie.
If you've stuck around this long, thank you. Please let us know in the comments, what did you agree with, what did you disagree with. Um, if you liked what you saw and you haven't already done so, please check and click that subscribe button. And if you don't really want to subscribe because you don't really want to commit, at least hit the like button so that we can get some extra attention on the algorithm. We ain't found Sith on all platforms, and I don't know if you guys have any you guys want to put out for your own, or you got more Twitter followers for your Instagram, Raul?
I only use Instagram, and it's climbing Cubano.
There you go. The climbing
Only
Cubano.
for rock climbing.
Watch Rag go up on. Up until now, it was mostly just going up like rock climbing walls. But as of recently, he actually climbs some real rocks. So
Yeah, it was completely different. It was way harder.
Which I'm gonna ask you off air because I have a question that has been burning in my mind. But if you up until next time, we'll see you later, Sith heads.